Hey there, it's Jill Blanchett. I'm back with card number 2 for the Time for Cake Paper Pumpkin Kit. And this time I need to put the cap on my glue real quick while I wait. This time we're going to make this card. Okay. And then inside I just have a white with a strip on it. So you will need one of these cards, the 3 pieces that go for the cake, one of the pinks for the sentiment strip. I have some scrap Pretty in Pink and Petal Pink, and some random gems to put on the flowers we're going to make. And then you will use one of the pink envelopes and cut off a strip of that. Let me show you. Hold on. I'd lose my head today if it wasn't attached. So I cut one of the pink envelopes to 1 3/4 by 5 inches, and then a piece of Night of Navy that's the same. And then I have an 8.5 by 5.5 pecan pie, and then another layer that's just cut on the 1/8, so like 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. I'm going to try that this time. This one, can you see I just embossed the whole card front? This time I'm going to build up on a separate piece of paper and add that to the outside. So I'm going to go ahead, and you can score this at 4 1/4 or fold it in half. Burnish that good. First of all, I'm going to build up this piece. So we're going to glue these on kind of kitty wampus like this, and then we're going to run it through the embossing folder. Probably should have cut out our cake first just to get a feel for the edge where we want to. I'm going to pull it over like that, really close to the edge. So we're going to glue these 2 down. So I'm going to hold them here kind of where I want them, so that when I go to put them down, I know that I got them how I want them on there. So now we'll glue all this down. To here, and I am gonna like let a little bit of it hang over the side, and we can cut that off. Because our cake, I wanted to make, these are bigger than my sample because I wanted it to show a little more. But I don't want a big dead space of brown where the cake is. So let's now emboss this whole piece through a kind of like a subtle design. If you've got, or if you've got one that says happy birthday, that would be cute too. But I've just got an old retired subtle folder, and that's what I'm going to use. I'll be right back. And it's not too old of a folder. It's from the Basics 3D embossing folders that were in the online exclusives. So now I'm going to just glue this onto the front here, kind of take it out of the equation. No, I think we'll just work on this. We'll glue it on at the end. So next, we need to cut out our cake, okay? So we're going to trim all around this. We can cut it off right there because we're not gonna use that. So I'm gonna cut that off. And I went just a little bit, my score line's right here, just so I got a little bit of room, because what you're gonna wanna do is try and angle. Let me get a pencil and just show you. So when you're cutting, we don't want this whole plate. So as we come around and cut that off to make your plate a little bit smaller. Kind of like that, something along that lines, just to narrow it down so that it fits on our piece of paper. Otherwise it's gonna hang off, but you could let it hang off. So I'm going to stop and pause again while I cut this whole piece of cake out. All right, I got the cake cut out, so, and you can go ahead and nip up the edge there of your plate, because you're going to cover that up. So take that out of the equation, and then just make sure that it's going to fit okay on your front, like this. Okay, then what I did was I took a light Copic marker, and I'm just going to kind of shadow my plate a little bit. Like so, just to give it a little bit of contrast to the edge of the plate. Nothing, you can even skip that part, nothing fancy about it or anything. So now we're going to go ahead and glue on our pieces to our cake layers. You can glue them on in any order that you want. I'll lay them on here real quick just to get a idea of where I want them. Like that, I guess. Wonder if I should move this one around. Let's see, and put the blue at the top, because we're going to have blue flowers down here. Oh, I guess we can try it and see what we get. We'll bring the blue flower, we'll tie in our blue down here. And bring some blue up to the top. So you're just going to leave some space between your layers, you know, like a actual little layer cake. We got a little funfetti layer here. Chocolate layer. How about a lavender blueberry layer? Does that sound like a good layer cake flavor? All right. I'm going to put some dimensionals. I'm going to kind of give this a little curl. You can use your bone folder or anything that you want, but I'm just giving a little up for some dimension there. And this I glued on flat. We can go ahead and glue that on now, I guess. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some dimensionals up on the frosting part up there. I want that to stick up. So we're going to glue on our cake. And I want the frosting to get a little bit of height to it. Pull it down. Make sure it's standing up straight. That looks pretty good. Then I've got a punch. Got this little tiny flower punch. And I'm going to do 2 petal pink flowers like this. And a pretty in pink flower. And I have my pick tool and a silicone mat, and I'm just going to use the ball end, and I'm just going to kind of roll that around, and then my flower will curl. Do that with all 3 flowers. Hopefully I'm not jiggling the camera too much. I won't go too crazy on them. But as I make my circle a little bit wider, then they curl up a little more. So we'll bring our cake back in. And I'm going to glue these on right in here. Across the top with the icing. Like that. Then I'm going to put a little baby pearl in the center of them. It's going to be a fancy cake. It's got pearls on it. Yes, I should be using my pick tool again, but okay. Trying to be stealthy and not show my off-brand craft fair expo purchase of pearls. Okay, so we got those across there, and now we're going to bring some, I got a big punch, this one, Flower Builder, it's retired, and I'm going to do a pink flower and a petal pink flower. And I did 2 of them, put 2 together. One part, sad part with all these builder punches is you get so many extra pieces pop out of there that you don't really want. But it's also good because you get a lot with the punch. So I'm going to do some navy blue or Night of Navy leaves now. Get all those little bits out of there. And we'll come over here and do this leaf. Okay, so now we've got all our leaves cut out and our flowers. All right, now we're ready to build our flowers, and we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to take my little tool and I'm going to circle around in the center, and then that's going to make the flower curl. So I'm not going to make you watch me do all of this. I'm going to do all of those, and then I'm going to glue them together. And I'll be right back. Okay, now we're going to take our little leaves. We're going to glue our leaves on top of each other. Let's see how we want them to look. Let's go like that with this one. And then we're just going to glue it underneath our flower. Like so. And I didn't really work too hard on these for the curling. You could take your bone folder and stuff and curl them as well, because the little ball really breaks down the fibers, so it accentuates the center. So we really have to, now I'm gonna glue that on. We really have to find a, bring that down to cover off my plate. We really have to find a bigger piece for the center, in which I don't have a really big piece for the center. I just got a pearl. But I might have a bigger one in the container that I didn't use, so I will look when I get there, but you probably just can, you know, use what you got. Got some, we're gonna come down this way with this one, like so. And then I've got these flat adhesive back pearls. Let's see, I got some great big ones on this thing. Let's see how it looks in the center. I think I like the smaller one better, but I'm going to use these big ones because it does cover up a lot of that circle motion that I did. So, yay. All right, so we've got that part done. Again, you can use your bone folder, your something to give your petals a little curl if you want to. Obviously, you can use your fingernail as well, but I'm just showing you. Little pull on them, and then they've curled right up. So now we're going to take our pink strip here, and we're going to use the It's Time for Cake in Pecan Pie. I'm going to bring it there. And see if we're going to have room to put it across there. My resident creative director, he liked it popped up. I was thinking it was a little much popped up. He liked it popped up, so I don't know. I guess we'll pop this one up too, just to... My original idea, I stamped the words across the card before I embossed it. And that looked kind of cool too, but again, it was flat to the card, and he liked a little bit of height to it. Thought that looked nice, so we'll put this up here. I don't really think we want to put it across the cake or anything, but I suppose you could, but I'm not gonna. We'll pop it up here. I'm putting it, you know, at an angle to go with the cake and stuff, so. Now we just want to glue that onto the front of our card. And I only have that little 1/8 of an inch border. Stick that down. And then my inside, I cut a 1/2 inch strip off the envelope, and I left the white on there because you'll see that it's not quite 5 1/4 if I trim the white off. So I left the white on, and I'm just going to put a little extra glue on the tips, and I'm going to fold it over. And then that helps if you get it on straight. That helps to make it look a little more seamless there. And then it's not as noticeable that it's the edge of the card. We're going to glue that to the inside. Now, if you want to stamp your sentiment, do it before you glue it down. You're putting a greeting on it. And you might even stamp it before you put that piece of paper on the edge, just in case you need to flip it over. you can stamp and then add this piece before you glue it down. So there you go. This is my second card. And I'm hesitating on what number it is because I've already made the last one. I did the last one first, so I want to always say it's one more than what it is. But there you go, guys. My second card. I'll talk to you again in a little bit with my third card.